Okay, sixth period, engineering. Um, as you can probably tell, I'm not here today. You got a sub, and of course, I know you're going to be respectful to the sub because that's just the people you are. I want to quickly just do a video, tell you what we're going to be doing there today, and then if you have questions or clarification, I can help you out tomorrow on Friday. So today is the 11th. It's Thursday. Your objective is to be able to design more complex parts in Inventor using geometric constraints. I'll go over that in a bit. The agenda, first and foremost, finish the constraint activity 2.5.2. Most of you did, right? Just a reminder, it looked like that, and you submitted these things into a folder. And like I said, most of you have already done with that. Next thing, I'm going to go over a file management. We're going to try doing files on the desktop rather than the H drive. I'm hoping that speeds things up a little bit for us and lowers some of our frustration with Inventor. And then finally, I'll go over Activity 5.2b, an introduction to CAD modeling skills. And you're going to be expected to work on procedures 1 through 6 from the Project Lead the Way website. And I'll show you what that looks like. So let's do this one first. 3. What are you asked to do today? I'm going to pull up Project Lead the Way. And the first thing I want you to do is not have a cow when you look at it because it looks like it's a monster of an assignment, 5.2b. But really, this whole thing down here, I'm going to give you hard copies of this so you don't have to look at them. From the substitute, you should get drawings for the Automoblocks passenger section and the windshield. So those are a little bit easier to read rather than flipping back and forth from one screen to a next. And so you don't need to download anything there. The procedure is just going to basically walk you through performing some of these more complex parts in Inventor. So you'll do this one here just to remind you how to use the fillet tool, and then you get to the body, and then you're going to do the most complex thing you've probably done so far, which is the windshield. And again, this looks really, really long, but it's essentially just steps in producing the windshield. And I have videos here. Project Lead the Way has a video here, a reference to help you. I've also linked to another one. And then once you do the windshield, man, I think you're going to find number 5s and 6 to be much easier. We're just making a kind of basic designs using the fillet and the chamfer functions that you'll learn about. Okay, so again, you have some resources. I wouldn't expect you to be able to do the windshield without some resources. There's a video here, there's a video on the classroom, and there's even more out there. If you get stuck on the passenger assembly, right? This one. I think a lot of you can do this without help, so I didn't put a video on there, but if you get stuck on there, watch what happens if I just do a search for that passenger section. Look at all those videos, those resources. So if you get stuck, go out, look for help, and get it, and that's okay. All right, so finally, the last thing I want to do with here is I want you to work on the file management on the desktop. We've been using the H drive, and that's been really slow, and it turns out that every time we log on to our computers, our desktop is saved based on our profile. So what's on our desktop, if I'm using Computer 22, won't be the same for what's on another person using Computer 22 when they log in. So that allows us a little bit of privacy with our files. So I'm going to suggest that we create a folder to put our work in on the desktop so we can eliminate that H drive slowness. And it will work like this. I'm just going to go to my desktop. All right, I have one here. I'll do another one for you. Essentially, just go to an empty space, and I'm going to do New, Folder. I'm going to call mine Hennings2. Just call yours just your last name. And inside that folder is where we're going to put all of our Inventor work. And it's going to live on the hard drive, and we should only see it when we log in on our desktop. I said hard drive, but it's on the desktop. It's actually on the hard drive too. So what are we going to do with Inventor? I'm going to go to Inventor, and I'm going to say I want to do all of my work in that folder. So when I click Projects, I'm going to do New. Next, we've seen this before. This is where we used to look for the H drive. Let's look for that desktop folder. There's my desktop icon. Hennings2 is what I just made. And here's a shortcut for creating folders within that folder. So the thing you're going to work on today, so I'm going to show the project folder. I'm going to do /, and I'm going to call it Activity 5.2b, and I'll give the project name the same name, 5.2b. I'm going to keep going to next. Nothing from the vault ever for us. Here's where we get a prompt. It says the path you entered doesn't exist. What that means is that file name, that / that I just did, isn't there. Should it be created? Yes, it should. So OK. And you'll notice I'm now in that folder. That's where my work is. And if I go back to my desktop and look at that, Inventor created a folder for that work to go in there. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. What this does mean, though, if you're going to work on the desktop and get away from the H drive, you have to work with your same computer number each and every time. Okay, so I think that's enough to get you started. Again, I'll help you and clarify things on Friday when I get back. I know you're going to be respectful for the sub, and you know that I have these expectations of you, and I'd like to see some work on Friday when I get back. Have a good day.